Okay, we are getting very close to having a break, but we have one session to go. It's a pre-recorded session. But before we do that, I just wanted to check the time zones that we're on now, because a lot of the world actually is now on September 17th, which means a lot of the world is already in International Microorganism Day officially. We have got Berlin, Germany, lots of Europe. Actually, it's just gone past midnight in London, in the UK, and Portugal, and I think the whole of Africa now is in International Microorganism Day. So I guess we're just coming for America, North America, Central America, South America. We're coming for you. You're not here yet, but you will be, and we'll be there when you cross that date line. So yeah, let's move into the next session. Don't forget to check us out on social media. You can watch the live stream there if you're kind of browsing on Twitter or Facebook. And we also have it on YouTube on the websites. But right now, we're going to go into the final session, which is about the human microbiome, the loss of our oldest allies. Jelissa Reynoso Garcia has pre-recorded a video for us. She is a PhD student at the Department of Biology in the University of Puerto Rico. So without further ado, I will hand over to her.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Jelissa Reynoso Garcia. I am a doctoral candidate in microbiology at the University of Puerto Rico Rio Piedras campus. And I will start with a question. Do you know that the vast majority of the cells in our bodies are cells of microorganisms that have lived with us for millions of years? This collection of microorganisms, known as the microbiome, do important things for us. The loss of members of the microbiome can have great consequences for our health. While some bacteria are related to disease, others support life. To help support the microbiome, eat a healthy diet and avoid the inappropriate use of antibiotics. This is a representation of global warming, and we can find in global warming has a large-scale change due to human activities. We're going to talk about a change on a microscopic scale, and I'm going to make the point that the scale of the problem may be equivalent to the scale as well. So what is the microbiome? Our body is home to trillions of microorganisms, including bacteria, fungi, and other microscopic living things that live above and inside us. We have more microbes in our bodies than we have human cells. Indeed, the microbiome is considered an additional organ, not only because it weighs 2 to 5 pounds, which is roughly the weight of our brain, but also because of its essential role in human health, such as digesting our food and protecting us from bacteria that cause disease. Therefore, without the microbiome, it will be very difficult to survive. We do not get microorganisms in us randomly. They have a specific habitat and function in our body. That means that the microbiome in your gut is different from that of your skin and your mouth. The most diverse is the gut microbiome, and we will focus on that one. We all share microorganisms, but there are others that will be uniquely yours, such as a fingerprint. And you may be wondering, so what? The problem is that our ancestral relationship with our gut microbiome has been altered over time. One possible explanation for this phenomenon is the missing microbe hypothesis, which postulates that urbanization and modern medical practices have decreased infection diseases such as tuberculosis, measles, and malaria. However, access to healthcare and increased life expectancy come at a cost. Increased immune and metabolic diseases, such as diabetes, asthma, and obesity. These diseases that increase with modern lifestyle are associated with changes in diet, inappropriate use of antibiotics, and increased sanitation. Populations with an ancestral lifestyle, such as hunter-gatherers and farmers, have a diet high in fiber and complex carbohydrates and maintain greater exposure to the environment. On the other hand, modern humans have adapted a Western diet with processed foods high in fat, sugars, and simple carbohydrates. Additionally, we spend much of our time indoors, contrary to our ancestors. These practices have contributed to the disappearance of microorganisms in our gut. Studies have revealed that the microbiome of extant hunter-gatherers and farmers around the world have greater diversity of gut microbes compared to urbanized populations. These populations that never had contact with Westerners and the farmers have differences in the composition of their microbiome. However, they are more similar to each other compared to the urban populations. This suggests that the microbiome of urban population differs from the microbiome with which we evolved millions of years ago through differences in composition and the number of bacteria present. The ancestral microbiome has also been studied in archaeological samples. Advancing technologies are providing us with the opportunity to compare the gut microbiome of modern and extinct populations by the study of ancient microbial DNA preserved in archaeological samples such as dental calculus and coprolites, which are mummified feces. Yes, the DNA, the genetic material that you inherited from your parents, can be preserved for thousands and even millions of years. Coprolites collected from a rock shelter in Mexico showed that the gut microbiome of extinct population was more similar to that of rural populations than that of the US residents. This is evidence that the modern lifestyle may alter the human gut microbiome. I know, coprolites are amazing, at least in a scientific perspective. Some modern practices such as antibiotic treatment have saved the life of many people who would otherwise have had a fatal disease. Antibiotics were discovered by Alexander Fleming. I imagine you must think that through a complex experiment, but no. He discovered it by accident. When a bacterial culture, which is a method to grow bacteria, was contaminated with fungus. And he realized that fungi prevent bacteria from growing. The antibiotic penicillin has that name since it comes from the fungus penicillium. And that was how a mistake changed medicine and science forever. So next time you made a mistake, don't feel bad because you can be changing the world soon. But let's get back to what we were talking about. Due to the effectiveness of antibiotics against infections, people began to use them more, and more. However, the use of antibiotics can disrupt our microbiome and cause the loss of some microorganisms, and as a result, alter the way our immune system attacks disease-causing bacteria. Increasing evidence suggests that antibiotics can have a detrimental effect on health, especially at an early age, where the microbiome is still unstable. Children who receive antibiotics in their first years of life are at increased risk of developing asthma, allergies, and obesity. Although antibiotics save life, the microbiome do not fully recover after an antibiotic intervention. So, how can you improve your gut microbiome? Overprescribing and inappropriate use of antibiotics should be controlled. It is estimated that 30 to 50% of antibiotics used in the hospital are unnecessary. Therefore, we need regulation and education on the importance of the proper use of antibiotics. Antibiotic treatment in the first years of life should be avoided due to the long-term risk it poses to children. Antibiotics kill many bad and good bacteria in the gut microbiome, possibly contributing to weight gain and antibiotic resistance. Thus, only take antibiotics when medically necessary. In the future, we need also shift our medical approach towards the use of antibiotics with higher specificity to avoid disturbing the rest of the microbiome and to use one that treats specific microorganisms. We need to restore the microbiome. If someone have to take antibiotics, maybe we can replace the lost microbes with probiotics, which are found in food, or enhance depleted ones with prebiotics, which are fibers in food that stimulate the growing of microbes. And talking about diet, the Western diet also impacts the gut microbiome. The Western diet is high in fat, sugar, and simple carbohydrates, which has been associated with a reduction in the variety of microorganisms and an increase in disease. So this diet-induced loss of microorganisms limits the transfer from mother to babies, perpetuating the inheritance of an unhealthy microbiome. Furthermore, this reduction in microbial diversity cannot be recovered after several generations, leading to the extinction of microbial species in the gut microbiome. There are many ways to improve your gut microbiome. Eat a diverse range of foods. This can lead to a diverse microbiome, which is an indicator of good health. In particular, legumes, beans, and fruit contains lots of fiber. Eat high fiber foods. Fiber is a prebiotic that stimulates the growth of beneficial microorganisms and promotes the diversity of microorganisms. These microbes break down food fiber into other products essential for health. Eat probiotics. Probiotics are live microorganisms that can be consumed through supplements or foods such as yogurt and kefir. Limit your intake of artificial sweeteners. Some evidence has shown that artificial sweeteners increase blood sugar by stimulating the growth of unhealthy bacteria in the gut microbiome. Remember that our microbiome is a mirror of our lifestyle. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for submitting the presentation. Thank you everyone for listening. What we're actually going to do is take a short break now. So we're going to come back on the hour in about 45 minutes. So go and take a break and check out our social media. I would like to share something with you now that we're trying out on Twitter. Because if you get the chance to take part in this, it would be very, very cool. So I was asking the question, can you describe your research or a subject that you're interested in emojis? And we've been getting a lot of responses actually. So yeah, here we've got Dr. Justine Debelius, and she's pretty nicely explained her research in emojis here. I guessed it wrong, unfortunately. Thought it was fecal microbiome, talking about community and geography, but this is actually community of bacteria, community mapping, finding targets and improving disease. Lots of people have tried this. So if you actually take a look, you can try guessing them, because I've been doing a terrible job, to be honest with you. So if you can do better than me, that'd be great. But also tell me what your research is, what your subject is in emojis, because well, people have been getting very creative, so that might be something interesting for you to try. But I will leave it there for now and say thank you very much for your attention, for your time, and I'll see you in just over 45 minutes for the next session, and I'll give you a little bit of a teaser of that session there. Bacteria and Antibiotics 101. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's presented by people who are actually very close to me in Sweden. They're from the Uppsala Antibiotic Center, Uppsala University, and it's going to be a good one. So I'll see you there. Thank you very, very much indeed.